Good evening. Oh, it's a beautiful day today. It's good. It's good to be done with work for the week. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend ahead of them. I was in court most of the day, but I got back to the office, I don't know, around maybe 4. And people had been talking in my Discord all day about a live stream. Lane Myers. The ever entertaining, if watching a train wreck in slow motion is entertaining. Anyway, I tuned into the end of the live stream, close to the end. And for about an hour, Lane was showing screenshots that someone had got from my Discord. No worries. I never say anything on my Discord about Lane that I wouldn't say to his face. To him trying to get into my Discord, which if he had actually just followed the steps that everybody else had to follow to get access to the Discord, I would have given it to him, because again, I don't say anything on my Discord that I wouldn't say to his face. He couldn't do it. A guy who couldn't figure out a relatively simple process to get into someone's Discord channel probably shouldn't be representing himself in a legal action, especially not a legal action that involves a criminal charge or two that he pled guilty to. And now he's trying to modify the conditions of probation. Probably not the smartest thing for him to do. And considering how stupid some of the people are that have gotten into my Discord, I'm shocked, I tell you, that he couldn't figure out how to do it. So he spent his time selecting people from the members list on my Discord to send instant messages to. Now, if you did that to Lane, I'm sure he would suggest that you were stalking him because you were directing communications at him. Blah, 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 blah. And again, it's shocking that he doesn't realize the hypocrisy of his own positions. And I say shocking, but I'm less and less shocked because I really think he's just not smart enough to get it. I think the people who support him just aren't smart enough to get it. One of his commenters, presumably to try to get my goat, like I give two shits about what people say about me, said that that it was insulting to people with Down syndrome that I called Lane Myers a retard. And I'm like, I know what you're meaning to say, but you're really just insulting Lane. And he thinks I'm too stupid to understand English when he says that it's insulting to people with Down syndrome when I call Lane Myers a retard. You can't make this shit up. You got to remember, intelligence is on a bell curve. And there's about 15% of society, roughly, give or take. Maybe the bell curve isn't perfect, but it's about 15% of society that's too stupid to join the army. The army literally thinks that about 15% of society is too fucking stupid. They drain more resources than they supply because you have to watch them all the time, correct them all the time, and show them how to do it again all the time. They're not even qualified to sweep 15% of society. Those are the people who don't understand how insulting it is to Lane Myers to say that it's insulting to people with Down syndrome that Lane Myers got called a retard. So the rest of the stream that he did was him showing, or at least that I saw, was him showing a picture of a woman whose crime was having an opinion about him and getting records about him, showing her with some sort of an image of like a gremlin, I guess, with a huge dong pointed at her mouth. Oh, and he also showed pictures of a guy named Joe Ad, at least that's what he was called when he was on my Discord, with a picture of a dong pointed at his mouth. Oh, wow. That's classy. But somehow it's bad for me to call him a retard. He does retarded things like that, but somehow I've gone beyond the pale when I call him a retard. You know, instead of getting upset at people who say you're dumb and you're wrong and you're going to lose, the best thing to do would be just to win. Now, that doesn't seem to really be in the cards for Lane Myers. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But the best thing to do is just ignore him. And then when you're right, you just pop back up with a video saying, haha, you were dumb, not me. I was right. Well, I guess that's a little above Lane Myers' pay grade. All he could do is insult people by putting pictures up of them with dongs by their mouth. I don't know why people care. I mean, I'm not going to fault the victim for feeling victimized by it, but I just don't see why people care. Anyway, just another meltdown by Lane Myers. Melting down because he thinks he's a genius when he's a retard, and the rest of the world, except for his small band of cronies, can see it. Can see that he's a fucking retard. And that's not insulting to people with Down syndrome. That's insulting to Lane Myers. But it's also true. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day.